Welcome to the patch notes for CB 0.19, introducing more of the Roman cards and new cards to also Norse. So I know this is a little bit late, but since the patch note came the same day as the patch itself, I couldn't do two separate videos. So I'm gonna give you my thoughts and what I think on how the meta is gonna evolve based on this patch. On dispatch notes. I did play some of the cards, so I know a little bit more about how they work and how the mechanics are in game. So that's going to be also a little bit more helpful. So let's start it with a big picture of Giannis. That's the legendary card introduced. A new threshold patch notes, which threshold is one of the ability of Giannis. So good little funny joke there. So new card art, we only have Blade Master, but that's amazing card art coming from Blade Master. Really cool one. And now let's hop already to new cards. So new cards, the first one, and the only one that's going to be neutral, is going to be a rare 6 mana 3/7. Range and Guard. Okay, so here's the thing. Having a range Guard for a 3/7 is really good. This is going to counter all the little range units being able to shoot from far away, the guard units that were all melee. But by having 7 health, it's really good like for Rod, that it can buff him. The good thing is it's not a beast, so Nuwa can't buff them. But it makes it really hard. And there's a map right now that they introduced that if you put your leader on top of the baboon and the summoning stone of your right, there's a rocket diagonally, and then you just block them, and you can just, snipe the things with the baboon unless he has something really good that is range. Knowing that the highest attack among range units is Anubis at 4, and Neath, if I'm not wrong, pretty sure I'm not wrong here, it's gonna take 2 shots to kill the baboon. And they're gonna die at the same time because they're gonna get 2 shots. It's gonna be deal 6 damage, and the highest health as range unit is Anubis right now. It's Hades, sorry. I believe so. Yeah, 6 health. So Baboon's gonna be really, really cool. 6 mana is not that much. It's a lot, right? It's like more between mid-late game, but still, pretty strong card. It's gonna be rare, so it's not going to be that hard to get. Then we have new card, Battle Rage, which is Roman, and it's a common 4 mana, deal 2 damage, and then you give to a friendly +2/+0, so you potentially deal 4 extra damage for 4 mana. Is that good? That's okay. Dealing 2 damage without taking the 3 damage can be really good, but buffing a friendly to a +2/+0 could make you a good trade, or you could, trade it to, for example, if for some reason, does having more attack matters in Roman, right? They don't have projection. They don't have Dying Wish, right? So I'm trying to see what's the synergy between giving more attack to the Roman and synergy between something else. And I can't really see it. By the way, this card right now is bugged, and your leader you can't give the attack to your leader, so that could be something really good to give +2 attack to the leader to make a good trade. But right now it doesn't work with your leader, so it's kind of weak in my opinion. And it's 4 mana, right? You could play like Sagittarius, for example, on there, Cupid also. So now we have Bombard, another Roman card, and it's a common 3 mana. If you control 2 or more structures, deal 4 damage to the enemy leader. Now that's really interesting, right? Because we all know about the Norse spell Backstab. 1 mana, deal 3 to the opponent leader. So here, if you just read this part, it deals 4 damage to the enemy leader. So you get 1 more damage. But at what cost this 1 more damage is? It's basically triple the mana. It's not 1 mana, it's 3 mana. And you have to control 2 or more structures in order to deal that 4 mana. Given the fact that you spawn with 2 summoning spells that accounted for structure, If you lose one, then you need to play another structure in order to deal the 4 damage. If you top deck that at the end of the game and you don't have the structures because you lost one, then you don't deal 4 damage. So not only it's triple the mana, but it's also a conditional card that only deals 1 more damage than Backstab. Given the fact it's not in the same pantheon and everything, I understand, but still, really, really weak card. Moving on into Crippling Curse, that is a Norse card. So Crippling Curse is a rare 1 mana, more early games for Norse, that sets a unit health to 1. And not only for 1 turn, for the rest of the game. So this, combined with like your Odin, or combined with a Curse Hunter, or with Mayhem, you know, everything that deals 1 single little point of damage will kill it. So that's a really good removal if you have something to attack into it that's in range. Really good removal coming for Norse. And they kind of need it, right? They couldn't really deal with a 2/7 Geb unless bursting 7 damage. This will ensure that they have a tool to kill these big targets, these big Ares in the late game, even for 1 mana. So, moving on, we have the Gods, which is another Norse. These are the 2 Norse cards. That is a common 1 mana, deal 1 damage to an enemy, and spawn a Curse Warrior. So this combo really well, like you can see with Crippling Curse. Spawning a Curse Warrior, I believe it's going to be random, so it's going to be either around your Summoning Stones or around your leader, which is going to be pretty useless because it's a Curse Warrior with 1 health to attack. It's not even a Curse Archer. Like, at least having a Curse Archer could have been a little bit better because it could attack melee without taking damage. Anyways, maybe it will see some play. I don't know. Maybe. Crippling Curse definitely a must-have now in a lot of the decks Norse wants to. So yeah. Moving into Halt, which is a new Roman card again, and then you have a common 3 mana to deal 1 damage and root all enemies in a 2/2 square. Okay, so what does rooting achieve from your opponents? Rooting achieve they will not be able to move. So you can use that defensively to make melee units or random unit not move into you to attack your Summoning Stones or your army. And you can also use it to root the opponents and shoot them with your Venators or your Cupids and your Sagittarius and all the ranged units you can have, right? So Halt also, for example, they have a range unit. You know, you can just advance your Venator, for example, just at 5 range, and then you alt them, so then they can't move on their turn. And then on your next turn, you move your Venator in 4 range or 3 range, and then you attack them. And because you are going to probably put a friendly around your Venator is not going to take return damage. Giving that a play over 2 turns, that your Venator won't die and that his units won't move or like won't have Purification or Gab on it, even if Purification is not really play. But it could be something that you could think of, which alt could be okay. I don't think it's gonna be that much played. 3 mana is still a lot just for deal 1 damage in 2/2. Ruth, so it's kind of a worse Cataclysm, but you deal 1 damage. You know, could be some play, couldn't. I'm not so sure about that one. Infernal Cannon, and that's a Roman, and it's a free card, 2 mana, 2/2 structure, and it can attack. Okay, so on the card itself, it says it can attack. But if you silence the card, it still can attack, right? I did that mistake, guys. Don't do it. So, it counts as a structure. So right now, everything that doesn't deal damage to a structure will not deal damage to the Infernal Cannon, and that's a bug. The Infernal Cannon also cannot be stunned because it's a structure, and that's also a bug. So all of these things will be fixed eventually, unless they change their mind and they decided to accept it like that. Either ways, it could go. But Infernal Cannon is definitely a good drop. Keep in mind that because it's a structure, it can't move. So once you place it, it can't move. And I feel that's a really good balance card, because if your opponent plays something around adjacent to your Infernal Cannon, then you will take the return damage and you only have 2 health. So yeah, it's a really interesting card, and I really like it. It feels balanced, feels good, and feels bad sometimes, and that's what you want about for balanced cards. So yeah, really like that, and definitely going to see some play. Now Yanis, the Roman, new legendary, 5 mana, range 3/5, and during your draw step, you reveal the top cards of both you and your opponent, and then you select one to draw and you place the other on your enemy's deck. Which means that no matter, if there's Yanis into play and your opponent doesn't have nothing to remove him from his hand, you will never give him the removal to kill Yanis, right? So, Yanis pretty much going to stick to the board. And if you play it in the back of, where's nobody at your home, well, he's just going to be able to poke from range, and give you the best out of the two cards. And that's one big thing. Not only you choose the best out of the two cards, but you know exactly what your opponent's going to draw. Exactly. So after he used all the cards of his hand, right, you exactly know what you give him from that. And then you can have really funny stuff like combining a transfusion with a Gallus, and then it hits super hard. It's really funny. Transfusion with a Hercules, and you can get an Athena. It's really fun stuff that you can have with Yanis. Really, really, I really love them, and he brings to the game. Guys, I hate RNG in the form of discovering cards, in the form of Web of Worth that discovers 2 more souls, and then Valhalla Sorcery getting a Web of Worth that discovers a 5th soul, and then I'm like, oh my god. But Yanis brings RNG to the game that is fun, and this is what the games need if they want to introduce more energy. We don't need more discover cards or more recruiters or evolve cards that's just completely random, and you can have something really bad and something really OP, and that's not fun for anyone. So yeah, that Yanis is something that they really nailed on it. Outmaneuvered is a Roman card, a common card, 5 mana, and you return a friendly unit to your hand, and you deal 6 damage to an enemy unit. Okay, so it's 5 mana, so if you want to combine that into the late game, you want to return something that costs 5 or less to your hand, right? For example, you can combine that with a Sagittarius to get an extra unit, right? You can also combine it. One of the games that I did was really amazing. I played a Sagittarius. It got a mercenary, right? And then I just moved the mercenary away, and on the next turn I played Outmaneuvered, returning the mercenary to my hand using the mana potion and replaying the mercenary, and it was like a 5/5, and I got a lot of value from that. So you see, you can think about a lot of cool stuff with Outmaneuvered that you can get from that, especially if Yanis give you more stuff that when it enters the battlefield it triggers. So moving on, we have Rain of Arrows. Sorry guys, not gonna spoil the other one yet. And it's a common 3 mana, and you select a 3/3 area, and then you deal 2 damage to all units and leaders that are not in the selected area. So basically, as Roman, you move all together. And then you choose your army in the 3/3, and all the rest of the stuff will take 2 damage if they're unit and leader. So keep that in mind. And it's a really cool board clear. It can be annoying to deal with stuff like Stone Guardians before they get buffed by Nuwa, like Thanatos is out of range, Marksman's, Imperial Soldier that got really buffed a lot, all these little guys that can become really a nuisance. So it's definitely going to see some play in a barrel. From the play of Outmaneuvers, maybe we'll see some, maybe not. It's really, really it's good removal. They needed removal, and Outmaneuver brings that, but you lose a lot of tempo unless you get something really good out of it. returning, for example, a 6-2 damage Terra, and then you can replay it on the next turn. It could be really, really potentially good also. Or like a 2-3, or no, like a 6-3 Hercules that was about to die, then you can just, return him into your end, play him at the same time if it's 10 mana. So maybe we'll see some outmaneuvers. Sylvanas, Roman, also. An epic 6 mana 5/4 range, which is the biggest range unit to have attack right now. It's even better than Anubis. I can't recall a range unit to have more than 5 attack right now. Anyways, this means that, Afterlife is going to mean that whenever he dies, he's going to spawn a 0/3 Spiderling, right? And wait a second. Okay. And if you don't kill that sapling, Sylvanas is going to respawn from the sapling at the start of the next turn. So think about it this way. If it's your turn, you kill Sylvanas, it goes into a sapling. If you don't kill a sapling on the other turn, Sylvanas is going to respawn for your opponent, but will not be able to attack or move. But you still, Sylvanas having 5 attack and be in range, this means that no matter what you use, if it's a range unit or a melee unit that will attack into Sylvanas will probably die. Because units that have more than 5 health, there's not a ton of them. There's a lot of them, but there's not a ton of them. So Sylvanas, and that's the thing, you have to keep in mind, as Sylvanas is not a 5/4, it's a 5/7 because of the sapling that you need to kill in order to remove him. Now, think about it also this. I don't know how effective outmaneuvering with a sapling could be if you decide, for example, to kill the Sylvanas on your own turn and then return that sapling with the outmaneuvering into your hand and to play it in the back so you can have your Sylvanas just spawn safely. And I don't know what will be the mana cost of a sapling even if you can do that. But it will be interesting to see. So yeah, if Bellona buffs the Sylvanas to a 5/6, then you have to also count that it's a 5/9 because you need 9 damage in order to remove him. That's really hard to do. So Sylvanas will be in a lot of Roman decks, and it could be one of the best cards that Roman never had. I mean, given that Janus is obviously one of the best cards also, but he's a legendary. I'm talking about non-legendary cards. So here with the Sylvanas. And then we have Vulcan, another Roman god, to be the last new card, and it's going to be a rare 5 mana, which is going to be a 4/3, not range, and that's interesting. He's melee, and the Warcry, he spawn an Infernal Cannon, which is the structure here with a lot of bugs with it, and 2 mana, 2 attack, range, and 2 health. So here's the thing. If Bellona uses ability, you're going to have a 4/5 and a 2/4. But keep in mind that the cannon cannot move, and that Vulcan is melee. And paying 5 mana for 3 health on a melee guy, it's not that good. The cannon will also, I tested a lot, like 5-6 times, and all the times I played Vulcan, the cannon spawns adjacent to Vulcan, right? So that's a little plus. But still, I tried a lot of Vulcan. I didn't really like it. I prefer to play Hercules. I prefer to play Bull Demon King. I prefer to play Endless in these turns on the turn 5. I find it a lot more effective than Vulcan. But maybe we can see a lot. If you return Vulcan with outmaneuvered, then you can have another Infernal Cannon. I don't know if it's worth the tempo loss, but you'll see. Okay, moving into general. Now they added the Roman quest that was not there before. They re-architected the in-game HUD for improved performance and visual fidelity. So the HUD is better, and it's really cool. And the game is smoother also for a lot of people. This affects only the HUD while a match, not out of games menu. Please report any issue related to the HUD in this thread. And there's like nothing, okay. They forgot to put the link here. Added card preview icon that displays over tile to show what card is being played. these can only be seen by the player that is playing the card. Yeah, so basically if you decide to play, for example, the Sylvanas, you have a little Sylvanas icon where and over the tile that you want to play it, which helps a little bit to know what you're playing or what you're casting. Change the color of the attack and damage value on the unit bars to reflect the color of the card. Oh, I didn't know that. Added the Greek maps back into the versus rotation, and this is whereas the map that is a little bit broken if you have ward units and your opponent doesn't have range, and it's not that cool, it's not that fun. You know, if a lot of the community really didn't like that, and you'll see guys for yourself. If your opponent plays a baboon and his leader blocks him on one of the Greek maps, and I believe it's the Greek 9 maps. Anyways, you know, let's just use, if somebody from high res is watching this video, well, at least they're gonna know that a lot of people didn't like these, one of the new Greek map that was introduced. And that's the point, right? I don't want to like say that I don't want to bash on the high res. I just want to give them my honest opinion and you know, just honest thoughts so they can take that feedback and decide what they want to do with it, if they want to change something or not. Anyways, moving on to balance, and this is what, you know, this is what I prefer from the patch notes. So general movement in this patch, we standardize the what I can pronounce that. We have standardized. Is there a mistake, a typo? Isn't it supposed to be a T? Standardized? I don't know my English, sorry guys. Let's move on. The movement speed for range and melee units. What? Okay, I understand. All melee units will have a movement speed of 3, and all range units will have a movement speed of 2. So buff to Blade Master, buff to Fire Imp, buff to Athena, buff to Soldier. What else do we have? I believe that's a nerf for Chang'e. That was the only range one, I think. Yeah, so here's a, you know, indirectly, this is the buff nerfs that happens with this change. And leaders, reduce the initial mana cost from 4 to 3 on all leaders. This itself is a nerf to aggros. Because now if aggros decides to kill the leader, then their opponent's going to be able to play the next turn his leader instead of wasting waiting for turn 4. So yeah, this could hit hard aggro, honestly guys. We'll see how it goes. Ao Kuang, reduce health from 6 to 5. Okay, so Ao Kuang with Guan Yu and Crescent Blades was so good synergy. I totally agree with that change on Ao Kuang, and I think that's good. He's still a threat, and he still combo really well. He's an epic, so he really brings that oomph to the Pantheon, and it's really cool. Even at 5 health, that's really, really powerful. Appeasement can now be used on your leader. Okay. I mean, why not? If your leader has 1 health left, you better just appease him and play other stuff. Yeah, why not? Armaments, mana cost reduced from 3 to 2. Okay, so that will help armament, that's for sure. Because at 3 mana sometimes, you know, it wasn't really ideal to fit into that whenever you want to play a bunch of cards and then play armament. So it's going to be easier to squeeze out there. But I tried like 12 games to make armament work, and I didn't really had a game where it was really good. And if you're going against like Norse aggro and they just empty their end on the board, then it's just gonna have a dead card in hand. So yeah, I'm not a fan, but that's definitely gonna help. So I love that change. Love, it's a big word. I like that change. Bullyman King, health reduced from 6 to 5. Okay, so the problem with Bullyman King is that it hits the summoning stone and then hits everybody around it for free, right? And if your opponent plays Soul, then if you play Soul, that forces your opponent to spread all their units so they're not adjacent to each other. But then if you can play a Buldyman King and charge it, you can swing one of the 4 guys and get like 4 guys if they're spread in 4 corners. You get the point. Buldyman King Soul really defines a lot of what's happening right now in the game. And reducing the health of Buldyman King will not matter if he's charged or not. So I would have liked to see maybe the attack from Buldyman King being lowered, and being a 3-6 or 5 would have been okay. But it's just a 4 or 5, so that's like Really powerful. Anyways, moving on. Cataclysm. Reduce mana cost from 4 to 3. Okay, so that's good. Like Cataclysm now is going to be able to play Cataclysm and maybe play something else a little bit faster. You don't have to be in ultra late game at 10 mana. But, you know, my main issue with Cataclysm is, you know, I would really like it to have no target. You can select an area. You don't need a target. For example, just to counter Loki, because, you know, I don't have Loki in my heart, even though I made a bunch of videos about him and had a lot of fun. It's like, it's not a card that in itself is really fun to play against when you can't do anything. I feel like if Cataclysm and Banish could be targeted when there's no target, it could help a little bit to counter Loki. But that's only my opinion. I like that. Maybe we'll see a little bit more Cataclysm. Probably not. It's still, you know, it's still, 3 mana is a lot when you just put something on board in this game. I need 1 things on board to attack the summoning stones. So yeah, probably not see. Maybe 1, and then people will like, oh my god, the Cataclysm play. But yeah. Charge can all be used on leaders. Well, I guess it makes sense. If they want to make like Deadbringer be used on leaders, Appeasement be used on leaders, Charge could be used on leaders, but we're gonna see a Stone of Gaia being used on leaders. Oh, Stone of Gaia being used on leaders? Why not? Having a 116 Poseidon or a 112 Zeus for 3 mana? That could be funny. Will it be really good? Emperor's health, give 4 health to the Egyptians, bring them to 110 early. So you add 1 mana instead of Gaia gives you +2 health. I don't know. But Charge can be used on leaders, makes sense. From the way they want to go. Yeah. Yeah. I guess if you really need that damage and you have no other units, then it's going to be more versatile. That's good. Wait. But it's still 1 mana. Why didn't they change it to 2 mana? Oh my god. I'm sad. That's something I would have liked to see going up to 2 mana. Anyways. Dying Wish can all be used on your leaders. Hey, talking about that. Okay. Well, draw 1 card. You basically say, I don't want Dying Wish. I'm going to just draw another card. But you waste a mana and you killed your leader. Woo! I don't know why you will do that, but maybe if that's like, you need the 1 card that could give you lethal and then you just decide your leader. Yeah. It could be that. Focus Blast now works if you don't have anything to heal. Yeah, that was annoying. Like, everything is full health on your board. You can't use Focus Blast. At least now you're going to be able to deal that 2 damage even if you can't heal. Which is good. More versatility for any card is better for the card. Gladiator. Passive now stacks. Okay, so if you have 2 Gladiators, your ability basically costs 0. And because leaders can be killed now, so Bellona can be killed, it's harder to have Bellona and 2 Gladiators alive on the board than it was before when Bellona would have like 25 health. So, I kind of like that. It's cool. Gem of ISO. This spell's nice stacks. Okay, so basically, if your opponent is playing a ranged leader, he will not be able to move anymore. And then you can be like, oh, and that's what you think? I'm just going to appease my leader or Dying Wish my leader, and I counter your double Gem of ISO. Oh my god. But yeah, I don't think this is going to be so broken, because keep in mind, guys, that your leader can still attack, and it's going to take return damage from range units. Unless you're in a really bad position when you get the second Gem of ISO. Most of the time, if you're able to suicide your leader, then whenever you replay your leader, it's not going to have the Gem of ISO effect. So if you wasted 2 cards just for that, I feel it's going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be really that powerful. Hebois, attack reduced from 3 to 2. That was a lot of value for Mebois, not only getting the tempo swing, but also being able to deal 3 damage to your leader. And if it was out of range and you couldn't reach it with your ranged leader or the melee leader, and you didn't want to waste one of the removals, or you just didn't have it, you could push 3 to the stones or push 3 to your melee units. It was really powerful. Now, it's a kind of in a better spot. I think it was still gonna be still gonna see some play. That's for sure. Hunter Sigil reduces the spawns unit from 3 to 2. Way, that's a good thing. Everybody's happy, right? Hey, that's so much powerful Hunter Sigil. Oh my God, especially I don't know, like combined with a core, so you're like poof, so good. I'm glad of that one. Odin can now target self with a leader's ability. Okay, so Odin is now able to heal 1 health and gain 1 attack. It's annoying. You know, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. But what's annoying me is that right now Norse is, you know, the best Pantheon, and they're still buffing Odin. Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I guess it makes sense that now you couldn't target himself. But then, if Odin can target himself, why could Poseidon cannot target himself? You know what I'm saying? It's really annoying that the game has so much inconsistency. Like, they make, for one guy, he can target himself, for the other guy, he still can't. Like, why? I mean, maybe that if Zeus could target himself with a shield, it will be OP. But, you know, it will make him a little bit more resilient. Odin can still gain a health if, you know, it's kind of the same thing unless you're being hit by multiple targets with Zeus. Yeah. Okay, I will like that change. It will also affect the other leaders in the same way, which is something that I'm a little bit sad about. Anyways, Purification now works on summoning stones, so you basically can give them +2 health. I mean, they can't be stunned and they can't be CC because they're structures, so what else will you play Purification on them? Just to give them health. Why not? Okay. Spartan, health increase from 4 to 6. Okay. This, I actually like the exchange. Why? Because if you compare Aphrodite to Spartan, right? Both of them were 1-2 stat minions or gods. The one was gods, which Aphrodite, which was better synergy with all of the divinity or everything that gains something when you play a god, for like marksman and Brontus. Yep. While Spartan didn't have that benefit. Aphrodite was range, Spartan was melee. So yeah, Spartan could affect all the adjacent units. Aphrodite could only affect 1 unit, but it could heal it on top of giving the shield 1, which Spartan will just give the shield 1. So really, there was not really any choice here. You will always go with Aphrodite. So buffing the health of Spartan to 6, maybe we'll see him more. I don't think so, but maybe we'll see him more. Stone Guardian, health reduced from 3 to 2. Okay, so the main thing here, Sunder will kill it super easily. Thanatos will kill it super easily. Rain of Arrows, the new card, will kill it super easily. You know, and that's something that is good. Why? Because Stone Guardian was an annoying card when your new Wa was just playing a Stone Guardian in the corner and then just buffing it each turn with an ability, and it was like insanely good. Now at least you're gonna have a little bit more time to react to him. So I like this change. Terra, walls now instantly if and stun all enemies in the row, damage has been removed. Okay. So that's good. That's give them that if Roman already have something in board, which they most of the time are, because if they lose board, they lose the game really fast. That is a tool. It acts like a kind of removal, right? Stunning something and hitting it, but a bunch of stuff that doesn't take return damage is a removal in itself. So Terra will help a lot more now, and it was going a little bit more into the, you know, removal kind of weakness that they have. Terra's going to help with that. Touch of Midas, mana cost reduced from 3 to 2. Well, that's actually really huge, right? Because Touches of Midas was something that you couldn't really play. You could play it on turn 3, but then it was a bit awkward. Now, Touch of Midas could be a turn 1 play. You could start the game by playing Touch of Midas, and then you can choose based on the hand that you have, a god that will curve out with your curve that you have for the rest of the game. Or maybe if you don't have removal in your hand, you want a removal, you can pick that. So That's a really huge stuff with Touch of Minutes. It's a early play now, and if you get it late game, right? Think about this: how many gods cost 8th or more? 0? Did you say 0? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you say 0, which means that in the super late game, whenever you get the Touch of Midas, you will always be able to play it with something else. And that was the weakness with the thing that you choose. And the weakness of the 3 mana Midas was that, yes, in the late game, you can still play anything that you get from the Touch of Midas. But in the early game, it was really hard to squeeze out in there. So yeah, Touch of Midas is going to be, we're going to see a little bit, we're going to see it more, that's for sure. And the Weakening Curse, so this spell is now set in an enemy unit attack to 1. Okay, so Weakening Curse is like the other way around from Crippling Curse, but Weakening Curse only works until the end of turn, and you know that was something that that was confirmed by someone at Harris, and Weakening Curse is only until the end of the turn, so it makes it a lot worse than it actually is compared to Crippling Curse, which could be like, you know, you can just leave it at 1 health, for example, if you want. But Weakening Curse only for 1 turn. Will it see more play? Probably not. Because of that. Maybe if it was set for the rest of the game to a 1 attack, could have been big, right? Weakening Curse could have been a counter to like a Bull Demon King, for example. Just put it at 1 attack. It'll be cool. But no, it's just going to be for 1 turn. So, bug fixes. Just go fast around that. Fix an issue where Sagittarius will spawn an additional unit. That was pretty annoying. Fix an issue where summoning stones were counted as units for certain cards. Yeah, I don't know how much they fixed that. Fix an issue where the guard FX will not move with leaders. Yeah, the guard stuff will just stay there when you move your units. Well, the leader, it seems like. Fix an issue where the discover cards couldn't be played while your leader was in hand. Yeah, if you want to play the discard that discover something, if your leader was dead, you couldn't play it. Fix an issue where Medusa could turn summoning stones to stones. Yeah, basically, if a summoning stone was damaged, Medusa will one-shot them. Fix an issue where leader cost could more than 10 mana if killed enough. Oh yeah, that's one of me and one of the guy in the Discord. We were just testing a bunch of stuff, and hey, what if I killed your leader like more than 10 times, and then the leader cost 11 and he couldn't play it. It was really, really funny. Fix an issue where Osiris will sometimes cost less for a unit killed on your opponent's turn. Yeah, that was like early. Early in the last patch. Fix an interaction between Bellona's leader's ability and the Roman spell which construct. Oh yeah, so if you played leader's Bellona leader ability and then you reconstruct, you get the summoning stone at 12 health instead of 10. But they fixed that, and then you cannot do it anymore. Ares is no longer able to target units turned to stone by Medusa. Yeah, Ares could for some reason do that. Fix an issue where banishing Al Kwang will sometimes cause spell damage to set. Oh yeah, like you get +1 damage, but then you banish the Al Kwang, and then whenever he returns, you get +2 damage. And it's like, what? Okay. Fix an issue where Caldera's passive will still affect after silence. Okay, didn't know about that one. Fix an interaction with spawn, afterlife units, and last breath. Oh yeah, I believe that, like, I'm not sure about it. I'm just not going to talk about it. Oh, and that's it. Okay, so the biggest thing about that patch that I don't like, Soul, it's not touch. Or, okay, the main problem is not Soul, right? The main problem is the Web of Word, getting 50% chance of having the Soul. So if in some way they could reduce that, for example, making Web of Word go for 50% to less, for example, if instead of discovering a god, a Norse god, they could discover a Norse unit that will add Soldier and Caldera, it's going to be a little less annoying to deal with 3/2 souls that can be buffed by Odin to a 4/3 soul, being buffed by Answers, and then Frenzy, and Coerced, and Siege, and you're, oh my god, and when you spread your units in Bull Demon King Charge, I don't know, that's just my little rant part about this. I really was hoping that they will do something to either Soul, like removing the charge or something, or Web of Word, like making it less consistent, because it's really annoying right now how consistent that RNG card is. Right, only 6 gods Norse, so 50% of having whichever you really want, because they give you 3 chores. Anyways, guys, I'm just gonna stop ranting about that, and I hope that they will, they will do probably something about it in the future. If they don't, it's okay. I'm just gonna adapt myself. Not a big deal. I can live with that eventually. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope that you enjoyed the comments I did about the changes and the new cards and the balance. Hope that you learned a lot. Um, I hope that if you want to see something in the channel, just leave a comment in the bottom. I read all my comments. I mean, there's not a lot of them, so pretty easy. Just leave a like if you enjoy it, and I'll see you.